Hey everybody, my name is Natalie Duncan-Emmons. I wanted to thank you for listening to this episode of The Morning Show. I'm the creator, the producer, and the host of the show. We want you to check out our website. It's themorningshowwithnatalie.com. You can go to that website. You can see all about our sponsors, all about the show. You can even listen to live episodes while they're going on right there from the website. Another way to listen to the show live is go to Live 365. You can download that app and just search for The Morning Show. It's right there. Super easy. We want you to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel if you will. That way you can keep up with what's going on The Morning Show. Thank you. I hope you enjoy it.
My name is Natalie Duncan-Emmons. You are listening to The Morning Show. It's Thursday. It's Throwback Thursday. And you know what we love to do on Throwback Thursday? Well, we go back to a few decades ago and we grab one of those classic hits that we have loved through the years, and today we've sure got a good one with a very, very special guest. He is a terrific songwriter. He is probably one of the greatest baritone singers gospel music has ever known. And the word is he's just one of the kindest people that you will ever meet. We have Mr. Mark Lanier with us this morning. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, and thank you for all those compliments. My goodness.
Well, we were getting ready for this, and then just conversating with, people and friends that I conversate with, you would mention your name, and everybody has something really positive and good to say about Mark Lanier. Everybody really likes you. Everybody just has good things to say about you.
Well, that is so good to hear. I'm glad that they are able to say nice things. I try my best. Treat people right, and so thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, Mark, I want to take a little bit of time today. I want to focus on you and your career because you've been doing this for a long time, and you've had a lot of success along the way. And when I think back to Mark Lanier, and I go back as far as I can remember, it takes me back to the Bible tones. Did you have something before the Bible tones? Was that your first big thing to do, or does it go back further than that? Where did you start?
That's about, well, to be honest, if you want to go way, way, way on back, it really wasn't about me, but it really was the catapult that got me where I think God has taken me. There was a group that sang called the Florida Boys who had a tenor named Coy Cook, which was a well-known tenor back in the 60s. So Coy is from our area, where I'm from, in Alabama. My dad and Coy Cook were in the same first quartet each one of them were in. So I got bit really early with the gospel music bug, watching the gospel music from somebody from my little hometown on national television. I thought that was the coolest thing. So I fell in love. And it's from then on, I always felt like that I have carried on the career that my daddy really wanted to but never did, I guess.
Yeah.
And so I'm very thankful for the doors that's been opened and for the opportunities that I've had. But yes, my brother was a bass singer. He sang with the Bible tones before Glenn Floyd came along. And then, so they needed a piano player, so I played a while, and then they needed a baritone, and I jumped on that and did both of them for a while. And that pretty well got the ball rolling, for sure.
Well, I just have precious memories of the Bible tones. I mean, some of my earliest, just like little bitty 2 and 3 years old, I can remember standing there. My daddy was a pastor, standing there at the door, and that we lived in the pastorium right by the church, and waiting for the Bible tones to get there. We would have them there in Morton, Mississippi. We'd get them to come, and that was just the highlight, for us for those waiting for the Bible tones to get there. And things like that, they just impact your whole life,
Well, they did, and they've always had a good sound, and they always present it well. My wife's mom and dad were one of the houses that they would come in Lake Charles and stay when they come to town. They'd park it and then travel out from there, but it had a central location. So, then I met Paula at a singing with the Bible tone. So, life goes on, and that, so yes, but because I was with them, I was in a position to have Perfect Heart happen, and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that was a blessing, and
And then you were a part. We have actually had Danny Thunderberg on our show, and we have played tribute and had a whole day where we honored Perfect Heart, and we talked about that phenomenon, because that's what it was when Perfect Heart happened. We paid honor to some of those songs, and we just had some fun memories. So we're huge Perfect Heart fans, and I guess we recognize the importance of that, because that was a really big deal, Mark. That was just a big deal.
Well, it just, how it all happened was it's such a 3-volume book, and we can't go into really all the details, but basically it was just a God thing, how we all got together, and how we got together, and to try to do what we all love to do, and God blessed it. And I guess what happened last Saturday would sum it up pretty well for me and my little feeble mind, because I went to see the Oak Ridge Boys, had a chance to talk to Dwayne Allen, and out of his mouth comes this sentence: "Y'all really had a good group."
Wow.
And so for Dwayne Allen to say, "Y'all had a good group,"
yeah,
I feel like somebody got something from what we did.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Would it be okay if we just stop and play one? I mean, I don't think that it would even be right for us to be talking about Perfect Heart and not stop and play one of those great songs.
I wish you would.
Let's do it. What about Somebody Touch the Lord? Can we do that? Somebody
Touch the Lord?
Somebody Touch the Lord was probably my favorite. Let's play it. We've got our friend Mark Lanier with us. He was a part of this fantastic group that kind of changed everything there in the Southern gospel music world. Here they are, Perfect Heart. This was look, Mark, remind us. I know this was a #1 song, but it broke another record too. What else did it do?
Well, it was #1 for 2 months, and it was a song of the year for that year, which is, I can't remember.
Song of the year. Yeah.
In the 1800s, I think. But anyway, it was way back.
It don't matter what year it was, but this was a song of the year. I knew there was something else. Here it is.
My soul was sick and dying, bound in sin and shame. Somebody called upon the Lord until sweet redemption came. Somebody held me up to God when I was feeling down. I'm so glad somebody prayed so I can sing it now. Somebody got another prayer through. Somebody touched the Lord. Somebody just touched heaven for another need once more. Somebody prayed until the Spirit came. Somebody called on Jesus' name. Somebody knocked upon heaven's door. Somebody touched the Lord. Now when I needed healing and felt too low to pray, somebody interceded, and soon my healing came. Now help me, Lord, to pray for those who stand in need of prayer, and let it be said, yes, once more, somebody touch the Lord. Somebody got another prayer through. Somebody touched the Lord. Somebody just touched heaven for another need once more. Somebody prayed until the Spirit came. Somebody called on Jesus' name. Somebody knocked upon heaven's door. Somebody touched the Lord. Somebody got another prayer through. And somebody touched the Lord. Somebody just touched heaven for another need once more.
great song, Mark. We actually play it a good bit on the morning show. And while we were playing it, we remembered what else it was. We said it was a number one song. It was Song of the Year. And what else did we remember?
Well, Perfect Heart holds a record for the first group to ever have a first single go number one. And that was that song, Somebody Touch the Lord.
All right, so that was their first single ever. Their first song they released went to number one, and that was a really big deal.
It just gave credibility to us and made us, got us rolling down the road, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. How many years were you with Perfect Heart?
I was there 7.
Okay.
First 7 years, yeah.
7 years. And then you went solo after that?
I did in 1997, actually.
And you did that for a long time.
I have done solo work now for 26 years. And I always tell people, you know, I love good harmony. I love a good group. I love all the things that goes with that. But I also love the idea of what I'm doing today and how I have the freedom. I can go to the piano and do a song or two if I want to, or change it up, or don't use a track, or use a track, just whatever God wants me to do. But
right.
I got great memories of harmony. I love harmony.
Yeah. Well, and not just anybody and not everybody can be a soloist. Not everybody can manage that stage, keep everybody's attention for a concert by themselves. And but you can do that. You know, when you are in the top 5 baritones in all of gospel music for 7 years in a row, and you've got that kind of voice, well, you can do it.
I've just always felt like, you know, I know it sounds sort of a silly, well, I don't know if it's silly, but it's just the way I look at it. You know, people don't really go to a concert to hear; they go to feel. And if they feel it, then you know they like what they're hearing. But people say I like this group, or that they really like what they feel when they hear it.
Yeah, that's a good point, Mark.
Yeah,
it really is.
Makes a big.
I want to ask you this, because there was a few years that you were with Phil Cross and Poet Voices. Where did that fit in? There was a few years I was out of the loop, so I'm not sure where Poet Voices fits in to the timeline. Fill it in on that.
Somewhere around the early 2000s, and Phil had stopped traveling, and I wanted to pick. I just thought it'd be a cool idea to get some people that I knew that I met, 3 of them, to put together a trio that had been traveling in a group, but not traveling in a group now. So I talked to different people, but Phil was one of my choices, and so it all turned out to be Phil Cross and myself and Greg Crow out of Birmingham. We traveled with the Southman and some different groups, but I knew him well, and that was a unique deal. We never had a bus. We always, if it was way off, we'd fly, and we carried our PA in a satchel, basically. And but we would do it once a month. We recorded a song and had some pretty good success on that first CD, which is and second one. We probably had 2 or 3 or 4 songs that went top 10, and that was an honor, and it was fun, and that was different. You know, Phil's a genius, and it was interesting to travel with him for sure.
Okay, Mark, I remember a Phil Cross and Poet Voices song that I believe you wrote, and it was called "Because He Is, I Am." Didn't you write that?
Yes, but that was a Perfect Heart song. I guess we did it too, though. Never mind. I'm sorry.
I think both groups did it, right?
Perfect Heart released it as a single, and it was either 1 or 2. I can't remember now, but it was called the Perfect Heart. But you know, we wanted to bring songs that the Poet Voice had sung and the Perfect Heart had sung. We recorded several of those.
I was just going to say that I always loved that song. I knew you wrote it, but I couldn't remember if you were with that group when they recorded it or not. I couldn't remember when they recorded that song, but I knew you wrote it. Yes,
I probably would have been, because I'd have, you know. Yeah. In fact, I think Mark Trammell Quartet recorded it on one of their projects too. If I'm not mistaken.
That was a good song.
It's, you know, I always tell people it's what feeble attempt I have to write a song. It's a hard one to write fast songs, and it's also hard to write a song quickly. If you got 4 or 5 verses, you can just about tell the story. But if you ain't got but 4 lines, you better hurry up and tell it.
Because he is, I am. Because he will, I can. All my hope is standing on his promises. Because he gave, I give. Because he died, I live. I am. Because he is. He is the rock I rest my faith upon. A certain help in time of need. He is the strength that leads me day to day. And I am so thankful he lives in me. Because he is, I am. Because he will, I can. All my hope is standing on his promises. Because he gave, I give. Because he died, I live. I am, because he is. I am a child of the King of Kings, and he is the master over me. And I can walk in sweet assurance, for he is my Savior, my Prince of Peace, Prince of Peace. Because he is, I am. Because he will, I can. All my hope is standing on his promises. Because he gave, I give. Because he died, I live. I am. Because he is. Because he is, I am. Because he will, I can. All my hope is standing on his promises. Because he gave, I give. Because he died, I live. I am. Because he is. I am. Because he is.
All right, Mark, I appreciate you tolerating me and humoring me, letting me play a few of these little songs because they're just so good, and we need to be.
Well, I mean, I thank you for bringing back. I mean, this is Throwback Thursday or a Look Back Thursday, whatever you call it.
Yeah. Well, that's right.
So
that's right.
That's what we're doing,
Well, I hadn't even got to the song that I've played 2 or 3, but I hadn't even got to the one that I really wanted to talk about. Look, there's a song you wrote. I don't remember you can tell us what year, but I think this goes all the way back to the Bible tones. You can tell us that too. But from the time I first heard it till today, I can hear it, and it just grabs me. It's one of the best songs that we've ever had in gospel music. I mean, it's really a powerful song. You wrote it. It's called "The Ground Is Level" at Calvary. Tell us about that song. Were you with the Bible tones? Was I right about that?
On the bus, and I was going to meet them, and I heard a preacher preach, and that was the line that just grabbed me that night. Mm-hmm. And went on the bus that night and wrote it. And I didn't really sing it with the Bible tones. I gave it to Von Thacker, who was a guy who could sell a song. Put it that way.
And that may be why I love the song so much, Mark, because I just loved Von Thacker. Right. And I believe he could sing, "Twinkle Twinkle," and it'd be powerful, And different groups have recorded that through the years, and they've all done well. But I don't know that anybody's ever sung it like Von Thacker did.
Well, just to give you a 10-second trip, basically, Vaughn had it, and before he had a song called "Heaven's Really Real" that was made his station known. But then he started singing "The Ground Is Level" at Calvary, and which was that kind of a song. So to have anybody from James Blackwood to Vaughn to just several groups have recorded it, but the biggest honor I had this year was to have the Wisnets go back and pick it up and record it and single it and go out to the radio.
Yeah.
That was an honor.
Wow.
In fact,
so that was re-released. They re-released it.
That's right. In fact, I recorded it myself this year, and it just worked it out that I could get the Wisnets to sing backup with me on my cut of it, and so that will too.
Wow.
So I think it sums up what gospel music is ought to be about, and simplicity, and get to the point. 4 lines. Anybody can come to the Lord who has a willing heart and is drawn toward Him, and it just comes down to the gospel.
Well, Mark, that's pretty incredible. I mean, there's only a handful of gospel hits that get to life like that. A lot of good songs they get their day and they're a hit and they have that recognition and people love it. But then it's kind of gone, and for that to come back and be released like that and honored again, that's really something. It deserves it. It's that kind of
song. It's incredible to me, and we had sang together in Texas, the Wisnets and me at a church. Well, I'm sitting there fixing to do my program here, and Jeff Wisnet walks up and says, "Would you give us the honor of singing 'The Ground Is Level' with you?" And I said, "Oh yeah, come on, guys." He did, and I think from that night was the night they decided to record it.
And then they went on to release that as a single, correct?
That's right. In fact, I recorded it myself this year, and it just worked it out that I could get the Wisnets to sing backup with me on my cut of it, and so that will too.
Well, you keep singing it. If I came to a Mark Lanier concert and you didn't sing it, I would be disappointed. So you just keep singing it.
Well, I love anybody who writes a song. I like to hear them do it. So
yeah, absolutely.
It comes way down in the pits of the soul where they stay till they pull out. They get pulled out.
And I want to hear you sing it this morning. So we're gonna play Mark Lanier singing "The Ground Is Level" at Calvary. It's a great, great song.
The ground is level at Calvary. You may have great riches with money to burn, or it may be survival is your main concern. You may be world famous, but what good might that be? For the ground is level at Calvary. Oh, the ground is level at Calvary, and it's fully accessible for you and for me. No matter who or what, when or where you may be, the ground is level at Calvary. Well, a doctor or a lawyer, a beggar or a little child, it makes God no difference who walks down that aisle. He says, whosoever will, they can come unto me, for the ground is level at Calvary. Oh, the ground is level at Calvary, and it's fully accessible for you and for me. No matter who or what, when or where you may be, the ground is level at Calvary. Oh, no matter who or what, when or where you may be, the ground is level
of all, I want to thank you for spending so much time with us here this morning and just, reminiscing with us and having a good time. But I want to give you an opportunity, and I want you to tell us about what's going on just around the Christmas season, because I think you and Andrew Ishii have some things coming our way. I think there's a couple of events through the holiday season, maybe November, December. You'll have to tell us when they are, if you've got that in front of you.
I will. Andrew is such a talented individual. He would sit on the second row at Herb's Fish Town and look and watch Jeff Stice, and his eyes were big as saucers. But he lives in Laurel, so we come together. I pick a guest every year to do a Christmas tour, just change up the thing and do mostly all Christmas, and I couldn't think of anybody better than Andrew Ishii.
Oh,
he
yeah.
plays the piano for Shenandoah, which makes it more available for him to be with me because they don't sing much or play much during the December section. So I do know that we're going to be in Meridian, Mississippi on the 5th, which is a Monday at
5th of December, Brother Mark?
I'm sorry?
The 5th of December? Is that what
what did I say? I think, yeah.
You just said the 5th, and I just wanted to make sure.
Sorry. Yeah, 5th of December at Broadmoor Baptist Church.
Broadmoor, okay.
Then for those down that way or down toward Hattiesburg, we do it the next morning. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, so it's at really nice church, Heritage United Methodist Church.
Okay.
On Tuesday morning. That's just two I can think of right now.
Andrew Ishii and I were just talking just a little while ago, actually, just a few minutes before this interview. And I was telling him I was going to be talking to Mark Lanier, and he says, well, you need to play. Okay, there's no such thing as the next best thing to Jesus. You know which one I'm talking about, Brother Mark?
I do, and it's voice recorded. I did too. So whatever you got it put up on, swear it out.
Well, I've got it hooked up on you. Andrew has sent this with you singing it to me. So we're going to go out with you singing a good upbeat song. But before we go, let me just thank you one more time for walking down memory lane with us this morning. And you've got a friend here on the morning show. Don't forget it.
Sounds great.
All right, I'm going to try to see y'all on the 5th, okay?
Come on. Hey, I appreciate the opportunity to do this.
Sounds good. We'll do it again, Brother Mark. See you soon.
Hey,
all right.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.